This week is so exciting because we're heading to South Wales. We're going to see the family, but first we're going to stop off and tow a car. Watch out because we do have a secret cameo performer joining us. That's the new fridge loaded. Let's hit the road. Harry, football goals? They're just little ones.
Right, we're here. Let's go and check in.
A few moments later.
She was going to put us on the grass until she saw the size of us. She said, just in case it rains in the morning, I'll put you on hard standing. Right, pitch number 23. Harry and I went about putting out a basic pitch. We put the carpet down as there was a rough stone base on the pitch, and as Lindsay was preparing some food inside, we put out our table and benches so we could all eat outside. What you knocked up for a tea?
We have got chilli that are pre-made, layered with nachos and cheese and sour cream, a fancy cheese and chorizo bake thing, and some apples and bread to dunk.
Well, that was lovely. Beautiful. And top tip, paper plates and disposable. It's a little washing up.
I knew the nachos were going to be messy, and it's our first night and no one could be bothered doing proper washing up. So,
it's a kid's job anyway, isn't it?
It is, but they've come straight from school. It's been a week of exams, another week of exams.
Right.
We seem to have been in an exam vortex for the last few weeks, haven't we?
Yeah.
Everyone's doing good. We're all done now.
Right, let's go and take a quick look at the facilities. So we've got a little washing up area in here with a microwave, and in the toilets here, sinks over here, cubicles, urinals, and the showers. Perfect. Yeah, good facilities on this site. And a laundry room. Okay, do some washing here. Quite a lovely little site this one is. Adult only area, no children allowed here, and chemical toilet disposal in there. There's a lovely area in the trees, camping only in here. So we're sitting chilling outside the van, and I'm playing with a couple of the new torches I got to go away to Morocco with. I got this one here, which is by Olight, and this will change colour, and it has lots of different modes. Even has an app for it that you can choose a colour, choose the darkness, lightness. So that's going to be handy to be sat out in the evening on the table. But I've also got this amazing torch. Check this product out here. So this is called a Mini Marauder, and it is the brightest torch I've ever had by far. I think it's 7,000 ANSI lumens or something. It lights up the whole area, or it has a spot mode, and I think those go 600 to 700 meters. And it even, if you hold it down, will change colours. I got red, and I got green, and I got blue. This is going to be a lot of fun in Morocco, in the desert. Light the place up. Morning. You know, I was laying in bed at around 8 o'clock this morning. I heard a pitter-patter of rain on the roof. And I remembered we got the carpet and all the bits out, so I jumped out and I packed the pitch away, probably just in time. But we're in Wales, we should have expected weather like this. I mean, what was it, 27 yesterday?
I brought my raincoat. I expected weather like this. I checked the forecast.
So yeah, it's miserable out there, but it's still really, really warm anyway. So we're just packing up. But one thing that is always a pain is setting these back up to a Agouti seats, the travelling seats, from a lounge, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a faff.
Yeah.
But it does give us the extra room of having two lounges when we're at a campsite like this, isn't it? Right, nearly done. Let's hit the road. Right, got to remember to put the legs up. We used them to level ourselves last night, but you get a big audible beep when you turn the ignition on to let you know that the legs are there. And just push of a button and the legs go up just as quickly as that. It is awesome. And of course we were planted last night when we were walking around in here. It was just solid to the ground. Love these legs.
The dog keeps swinging up. I keep having to bang it close because he keeps swinging open because the legs are up and we're really uneven. When we come to Wales, we always make the joke that it's so green here because of the amount of rain that they get. So I remembered to bring my raincoat, but not my shoes, for goodness sake. Steve and Ed are having a lovely time looking at the cars. I think I'm just here to make sure he doesn't overspend or buy something that is too boy racerish. I'm going to remind them about the insurance.
So we're down here at towacar.co.uk, which is in Pontypool, and by the looks of it, they've got quite a good selection of small tow cars that could be suitable for us. So I've got a budget of maybe 10, maybe a little bit more. Let's go and see what we can find.
My first car was a Vauxhall Nova. It was bogey green and had the boot sticking out the back, so it wasn't even the cool hatchback. But it was my dad's business partner's car, and it was a hand-me-down car. So I never got to do the first shopping. Not that I cared. I didn't really care what I drove. I just wanted to get around. But Ed does care about cars, so it's really lovely that he and Steve can come shopping together. Can you remember your first car? Do you remember going shopping with someone in particular? Was it your dad? Was it someone else? Do you remember that experience? Do you remember how excited you felt? Comment below, and this is a way that we'll figure out how old everyone is, and tell us what your first car was. You probably haven't met Eddie properly before. This is Eddie. He is our oldest son, and he is the one who is learning to drive. And this is going to be a dual purpose car. So say hello, Eddie.
Hi.
Bless him, he's so uncomfortable. Come on, let's have a look at some cars.
Right, first up, I got a Citroen C1 2016, and it's up for 8,995. So we jumped in a few cars to see what they were like, as I'd not shopped for a small tow car before, and to get an idea what Eddie was excited by. Not sure about the seats though, Ed, what do you think?
No, I don't think they're for me.
I like that it's white, so it'll match the rest of the fleet. Both Steve and Ed have already turned their nose up at this one, but I want to look at it. I love the colour and the fact that it's a roof-off car. It is so pretty. Look at this. Steve's phrase was hairdresser's car. There's a button somewhere for the roof.
In the middle.
In the middle. Oh, okay. To be fair, Ed's so tall, his head would be sticking out the roof most of the time. He'd be like one of those dogs with their heads out the windows. It's bang on budget at 10 grand. Are you sure you don't want to go for this?
Let's maybe stretch the budget a little further. Ooh, I like this, Ed. It's an Igo X. What do you reckon of that?
Yeah, it looks very nice.
That's very nice, isn't it? But it's a 22 plate. Probably out of our budget, mate. Oh, this is nice, isn't it? This is really nice. And look, all the controls on the steering wheel.
Yeah.
5-speed manual again. I like this. It is a 4-seater. All the cars they've got on site are 4-seaters. There is some 5-seater cars that are tow cars, but they're very, very rare. So all the ones they've got right now are only 4-seaters, which will actually be fine because it's only going to be an occasional tow car for us and mainly a car for Eddie. Craig, I like this one. How much is it?
16.5 this one, Steve.
It's a bit too out of my budget, mate. Have you got a cheaper one on this? I can like the idea of this.
Not this model, because this is the latest spec, 22 reg. We got the older model or the one before.
Let's have a look at that.
YWT there.
You got the keys for that?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, I like the look of this one with the white and the red. It kind of matches with our graphics over there, Craig.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Really on the edging of the van, yeah.
Nice. Hey, Craig, how much is this?
That one is 11,995. Done 40,000.
What do you think, Ed?
I like it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Again, you've got the nice big screen. It's probably got a reversing camera. You've got controls on the steering wheel. 5-speed, manual.
Yep.
Nice. So this is nice, Craig.
Yeah.
But this is not ready to go. And ideally, we're looking to take something away today.
Yeah, we've got a few that are ready converted. Some of the older models. I'll have to check and see if there's anything else in here. The conversion time on that is between 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
Lead time at the moment, right? So it would take that long with ordering in the frames in from TAF and getting it all down ready to fit.
You check you got something ready to go?
Yeah, I can have a look now. I think sure I've got something.
Then Craig found this one that was ready to go.
27,000 miles.
Okay, a lot less than the other one.
It is, yeah, it is. And it's a better spec one with a red roof as well.
Like the red roof and them wheels.
I've got this here now.
How much is this one, Craig?
12.5.
Okay, a little over my budget, but I like the look of this.
But you've got the reverse camera, everything, all the spec is on there. Cruise control as well.
Ah.
Right, so there is some extra bits on there. The frame is ready to go in the boot.
Okay.
And there we are.
They'd converted it, ready for the Norfolk show. Was this one going to the show?
It was, well, it's here marked on my paper here for the show.
Right.
However,
we could drive this away today if we like it.
This is ready to rock and roll.
What do you reckon, Ed?
I'm liking it.
Jump in and have a look, mate. The mileage is fairly low and the specs seem to be good.
It's a shame he's not licensed to go and give it a quick test drive.
So Ed jumped in, fired it up, and it sounded lovely and quiet. Ooh. And you've got the screen there. It's probably got Android Auto and Apple CarPlay on this one as well. So we popped up the bonnet. Oh, that's clean, isn't it?
Yeah, lovely clean.
Fantastic. Not that I really know what I'm looking for under there.
Here's our wiring on the side there.
And what's the strap for?
That's to hold the A-frame up.
Oh, okay, so you can unhook
So when
it.
you get to site, you're giving your pitch number, for instance, you pick up the hitch, hook it on there. Alternatively, if you come across somebody in a lane and they won't go back, you're going to unhitch your car and drive it off without taking it all off the
We
gun.
can't reverse with this on, can we?
Absolutely, you can do, but it's not advisable.
Yeah.
You may see videos where people are reversing around the corner. I don't know how many times it took them to take that, you know what I mean? You can just go back slowly in a straight line though, Stephen.
All right.
No problem at all.
What do you think? This one's ready to go.
It is, isn't it? He's going to be a happy boy, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's more than I wanted to pay for his first car, though.
Sure, but it's a dual purpose car. Isn't it? There's a tow
Yeah,
car.
actually, it's our car that he can use. And mostly he'll be driving me around, I reckon, for the next for the next 6 months till he gets used to having his own car.
And being a fairly new car, it's going to be a safer car with more of the mod cons, right?
Yeah,
And we want him driving around in a safe car.
absolutely.
Should we do a deal?
Go on and see if there's a deal to be done.
Let's take it for a quick test drive first. So it drives really, really nice. I'm very surprised. It's actually quite nippy, and it does feel quite new. And that's the advantage, I suppose, of buying something newer. And it'll probably be a safer car for him. So, yeah, really pleased with the way that this thing drives. You know, we're probably not going to be using it much as a tow car. We just want the option to have it there as a tow car. And of course, it's only 4 seats. But I think this would be perfect.
So I think we've done the deal, and I'm really sorry we've not introduced you to Craig again. We did meet him at Peterborough at the Warner
You
show
did.
then. Thank you for helping us so much
No
today.
problem at all.
So Craig went on to go through all the paperwork in the pack, including some spare clips that they leave in case you lose some of the clips. He then pulled the car up behind the motorhome, got the A-frame out of the boot, and continued to show us how it all works. First he released the bungee and put that aside, as we'll need that in a moment. He then showed us how to remove the pins, open up each arm of the A-frame to then put the pins back in.
So all our frames are supplied by Taff in Chesterfield. Been going 20 years, tried and tested.
Yeah.
I think they started off made a frame to tow a circuit car, I believe. And that's
British
where-
made then, all British made,
All
Craig.
British made. That's where their idea began.
With the frame now extended, he showed us how to attach it to the car.
Stand over the top of it then, in front of you. Hold this brake bar up there and offer it up to the car, okay? Put the first pin in, swap your hand over, then with this side, if I can show you that locating pin there, let's see.
Ah, yes.
That's got to be in place, alright?
Gotcha.
So then that drops back down through there, clicks into place, and then we got your brake bar, which is another quick release clip. One of them is in the kit as well, okay, so that's how it works. Okay. And then it just connects to the eyelet there.
And that does the braking, Craig.
That does the braking, yeah.
Craig then lifted the bonnet to connect the electrics to the car. He then edged the car a little closer to the motorhome. And you did mention earlier, only do this, hooking and unhooking on the flat
On the
land.
flat, do not try on any hills because it will, you'll get jammed up in some form or another. It's got to be done on the flat land,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So we put the safety neck goose strap on,
And drop the A-frame onto the tow bar.
and then that's it.
That's it.
We're connected, okay? And obviously your wiring.
And as we have a 13-pin connector on our tow bar, he got an adapter,
There.
attached that, and plugged it into our electrics. Absolutely perfect.
That's it, okay?
Fantastic.
Right, so we need to fit this strap on the brake pedal.
Craig then moved on to the inside of the car. Firstly, he fitted the bungee onto the brake pedal and to the seat, and that assists the pedal in returning, as the servo assist isn't able to do that without the engine running. He then got the spare key out, put that in ignition and turned it to position 1 to disengage the steering lock. And as we're using the spare key, that will allow us to lock the car with the main key. He then set the screen on the stereo to off so as not to flatten the battery, and he made sure the handbrake was off and the gear stick was in neutral. He then handed over the keys.
So, there we are.
It's not for me, actually, is it?
Ready?
Nice one.
Brilliant.
Cheers, Craig. Thanks so much, buddy.
That's pleasure.
Thank you. And that was it. We'd bought ourselves a tow car and Eddie his first car.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
We're being followed.
Right, Steve, I've told them what my first car was. What was yours, and how much did you pay?
I can't remember how much I paid, but it was a Vauxhall Chevette. And not only that, it was the Vauxhall Chevette with the boot in blue that I'm just going to put on the screen now. That was mine.
So that's both of us with the non-hatchback version of our first car. Did you want the hatchback?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we've arrived at my brother's. I was probably doing around 10 to 15 miles an hour less than I was on the way here. I got 23 miles per gallon on the way here, and I was getting more 21 miles per gallon towing the car. So we've lost a couple, and I'm going a little bit slower for that. But just look at the length of this. Look at the size of this with this on. We've just measured it, and it's an extra 4.3 metres. So that's 13.4 metres long we are now.
It's massive.
Right, we're going to get this unhooked and leave it on my brother's drive. Okay, first up, put a handbrake on. So I just reversed what Craig showed us earlier, unhooked it, and bungeed it back up and put it in the boot. You're right, Ed. It suits you, buddy. Looks great. You like it? Yes. Next, we headed to Pontypool Beach, where I'd spent many a day when I was a kid. We tried to get in the high tide, but they're full, so we'll come around the front and we parked the van right there on the side of the road. It does say no motor caravans between 11 and 7, but let's see. Let's see what we reckon. We headed straight to Beale's as they did the best fish and chips in town. Eddie went for a place and chips and the rest of us chose cod and chips.
We've eaten at Beale's before and it was fantastic then. Thank you again to the Rooks for recommending it to us, and for Steve's mum as well. She said it was best fish and chips in ages. Now, let's go out and explore the front.
We then met up with my brother and his boys at Coney Beach Fair, where the boys all enjoyed some rides, mainly driving related too. First up, it was the Dodgems, a staple for any fun fair. Who doesn't like a go on the Dodgems? They had a couple of goes, taking their cousins around with them. Joseph then went on the kids' roller coaster, whilst the other boys were a bit big for it.
Help!
How was that?
Not fun.
As we'd just eaten, we taught the boys how going on this one.
It's like an assault on the senses. I've got old. The noise is just beating me around the head. But the weird thing is, because I've got older, I can't tell what anyone's saying anymore. But the noise!
Right, they're all going go-karting. Ready, George?
Seatbelt.
Get your seatbelt on. Boys, excited?
Yeah, but I have to put my seatbelt on if Eddie's driving.
Right. Excited?
Yeah.
Eddie and Harry had their cousins with them, whilst George had a kart himself. Eddie's very competitive and soon got in the zone, went full guns to beat his brothers and his cousins. Eddie took this corner a little wide, allowing this guy through, and nearly came a cropper at this chicane. They all had a blast, really enjoying themselves, especially George, who got in the groove and loved it, as he isn't normally into these things. How was that, George?
Amazing.
Next we headed into the amusements, where we changed up lots of 2Ps for the boys. It's great that still just a few quid of 2Ps can keep them amused for some time. And Lindsay too.
Love a 2-piece slot machine. I want to win the flip-flop.
The boys' favourite is the basketball games though. They just love competing with each other to see who can get the most points sinking baskets. Again, they've got a very competitive edge to them. I have no idea where they get it from. How you getting on, honey? Have you won your flip-flop yet?
Not yet. It's coming though. Look.
You're not going to win the flip-flop.
Take your negativity and go.
Did you win your flip-flop?
I got the green one. I was going for the pink one, but I got the green one. Now
What's it worth, the £10 you spent getting it?
6. Got it. So that was about 8 quid, I think, for 3. Oh, and a dinosaur. We got a green dinosaur as well. Ooh! And the flip-flops, they're both the same feet. They're both right feet. Don't know where the left one is.
I don't think they'll fit you, love.
Fair point, well made. But still, set myself a challenge, and when I couldn't finish it, I got the kids to do it.
We also bumped into some of the family who were out celebrating Rachel's birthday. After a few more games, including George and Harry going head-to-head on asphalt racing, which is awesome, with the whole thing throwing them around in their seats when driving. Harry soon showed George who was boss and beat him. We then headed back to the van with the boys, as they had a strict policy that children left unattended would be sold to the circus. So we was going to stay in Pontypool at the side of the road. There were a few more vans there, and most of them said, actually, it's fine. We're not going to get moved on.
But if we do get moved on, that'll be a pain in the butt.
Absolutely. So we've come to Margham, where my brother lives. They got one of their multi-gym things. They've got them all over South Wales. So the boys are going to tire themselves out playing a little bit of football, and I think we'll stay here tonight. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think so. As long as... No, I can't think of a reason why we wouldn't.
There's no signs.
No.
Ah. So the boys played football with their cousins, and I took the opportunity to get the FPV drone up for a bit of a play and have a look around. I flew over to this wind turbine before heading back and landing it. This thing is a lot of fun to fly. After a peaceful night's sleep, we woke up to beautiful sunshine.
Morning. I've just done some stretching. Feel very limber this morning, following a new programme, which I will tell you about at some point. I feel great though. And I'm on a mission. I have to drink 4 of these a day, 3 litres of water. I might put a bit of squash in just to make it a bit nicer too.
We had a lovely night's sleep here last night. Peaceful. The kids were playing until late at the, what do you call this, a multi-gym?
Maga, multi...
Where you can have football, you can have tennis, you can have basketball. We are right by a road though, and there's plenty of traffic coming to and from the village. But a lovely little stop last night, and it's beautiful this morning. It's not like we're in South Wales.
This isn't the kind of stop that we would use all the time because that wouldn't be fair on the locals. It's just very, very convenient for seeing your brother, isn't it?
It is, and more convenient than parking right outside his house, which I could do, but that probably upset the locals even more. So that's why we've tucked away down here. Anyway, we're waiting to meet up with them again this morning. The kids will have another little cook around, and then we'll go and put the car back on the back of the van and tow it back home. So I took the opportunity for another quick flight with a drone to film the boys whilst they were playing football, and of course for a couple of fast laps around the football pitch next to us, before flying it through the posts of this sign and landing it again. All packed up and ready to hit the road?
No.
But you've got the seats all set up, ready to go?
Yeah, it's a quick job from here. It's just the last of the little bits to get going.
The boys played football with their cousins for another hour or so, whilst George climbed up on the pole. We then headed to my brother's to hook up the car.
I'm just going to tell you about something that I've just used for the first time properly. I've got oily hands from putting the tow bar onto the van. Steve doesn't like getting oily hands, so I did that bit. And at one of the festivals, we picked up some Pits and Bits towel off body wash. You don't need any water, which is good because the water's switched off in this now because we're all ready to go. Put it on your hands, soap it up, and then it disappears. You just rub it off. My hands are lovely and fresh now, and they don't feel like they've been dried out by some horrible soap.
Right, and there's the car hooked up on the motorhome again, and we've checked the handbrakes off, we've done the brake pedal, it's in neutral, the ignition's on number 1, the radio's off. We've got to remember these points.
5 things. I knew it was 5 things, couldn't remember the radio. That was the 5th one I couldn't remember.
Hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. We're heading for home now, and we'll see you on the next one.